What's up, everybody? Cody DeQuisto here, and welcome back to the Dying Breed Bowhunter YouTube page. I am stoked about today's episode. It is number 3 in the Gear Dive series, and we are going to go through all the clothing. I get a lot of questions all the time about specific stuff that I run and how I layer and how I approach the entire whitetail season from start to end. So I wanted to do a video for you guys and show you a lot of my favorite pieces, the exact pieces that I have, that I own, that I use, those brands, and how they've worked out for me over the years. So it's a system, man. It takes a lot of trial and error, a lot of time developing that system, but when you find something that works for you and a proper way to layer, like, it can really make the difference and keep you out there longer. So hopefully you can get some good information out of this, and I will do my best to link every single piece that I talk about in the description below. And let me know what you think. Here's all my favorite pieces of clothing. Let's dive in. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about in this video, so we're gonna break it up into groups. We're gonna start off talking all about bottoms, then we're gonna talk about tops, then we're gonna hit boots and socks, and then we're even gonna touch on miscellaneous stuff. So here we go, pants. Over the years, I've tried a bunch of different pants, and these are some of my favorites that I wear every year throughout the season, from opener to close. All right, we're gonna start off with some early season wear. These are 2 pair of pants that I absolutely love, that I wear all the time. It's from a company called Kuhl. These are the Radicals, and these are the canvas jeans. So we'll start out with the Radical. This is a super lightweight pant. It's very flexible, stretchy, breathable. It's really good for those hot early September hunts, going into October, you know, when it might be 85 degrees in the afternoon, things like that. They have a bunch of different colors. I personally love this one. It's like one of their grays, but they got brown, they got green. This one comes in a lot of different options, in a really good early season pant. One downfall with this pant is it's not real tough. This ain't gonna take a lot of abuse, trudging through briars and things like that. So if you're in those kind of conditions, you're definitely gonna feel it in the legs, and you might wanna go with something thicker like the canvas jean. So this is the other product I love from Kuhl, and this is the canvas jean. This has a lot more durability. It's stiffer, it's a little tougher. It doesn't have as much flex, but it will protect you a little bit more from those briars and things like that. This is a fairly new pair. It's pretty dark brown, but after a couple washes and wearing it, they actually wear into like this real nice, weathered light brown. So they're an awesome color. Love these 2 for colors and fit and feel. Very comfortable, and those are 2 of my go-tos early. Going into something more technical, these can be worn early too, and I'll stretch these into mid-season, but really this is more like based off of, I guess, mission dependent, you'd say, and what your situation looks like. These are legit like trekking trousers. They're Fjallraven, they're the Keb model, and these are really like an alpining pant. So they're real tough, real durable. They got the double knee guard there and that extra layer. They got you know, tough big cargo pockets up front. They have tensioners at the bottom with hooks inside the cuff, so you can really strap them down to your boots. They work really well with gaiters. These are definitely a workhorse pant. You're not gonna wear these out. This is my second pair of these. I had my first pair for about 7 years, and they're still going strong. They're just a little too tight. It's the one thing with this European company is like their sizing and their fitment is a little different, and they don't have a lot of room. And with these not having stretch, you definitely want to size up, maybe even 2 sizes. So I'd recommend that. Love the color, love the 2-tone green on these. The one downfall I would say that I don't like about these, other than the stretch, is there's no back pockets. That kind of, I don't know, it just irritates me. I like back pockets. I use them for a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, other than that, these are awesome. If I'm going in some thick, gnarly stuff or putting on a lot of miles scouting, I don't know what I'm going to encounter, those are a good option. Transitioning in, now we're getting, you know, nights are starting to get a little colder. These right here, so I've actually beat these down for a couple years now. They're fairly new to the system. These are First Lite. They are, I think it's like the kiln pants or the, let's see, the foundry. This is the foundry pant. So I dig these, man. They're stretchy. They got a good fit. They're durable. You can really trek through some nasty stuff with these. Got the side vent. That's key. Really a good pant all in all. Love the double knee. I think they actually come with like knee pads, which I've never used, but love the double knee. Love the pocket configuration. It's pretty good. The one thing I think I don't like about these, or my one downfall for these pants, is going to be the color. Man, I just hate the dark. I hate how dark they are. They're just a little too dark for me. But I love the pant, love the design. These I would wear mid-season, and I'll even start to throw a base layer, like a long john, underneath these as it's getting colder, and they do pretty well. They're not like super toasty by any means. I think they're meant to be a warmer pant from First Lite, but I don't think they're like cozy by any means. But they're a good stretchy workhorse pant, so I like those. Those got their place in the system. Okay, these I have been running First Ascent Eddie Bauer pants for probably 12, 13 years. These are awesome pants, from fit to color to comfort, price. They're just an awesome all-around pant. So you can get these in insulated or non-insulated. These are actually lined, so they're fleece lined. They're super comfortable, super cozy. When it starts to get chilly out, like I'll wear these for probably actually the majority of the season. I wear these. They have really awesome color options. This color is just a banging color. It's like their sage green. They even have a camo option, but this is a really comfortable pant, flexible, really good for when the weather start getting cold, or if you're somebody who doesn't really dig the base layer like the long john and you want a little extra warmth. These are where they're at. Now they're not as durable as like your First Lites or your Fjallraven or even the canvas jean. They have that same soft, stretchy, but then again, the price is not that bad, and they'll you'll get some flyers and they'll get scored up, but they actually surprisingly, like, you can beat the hell out of them. And like, I think, man, these got to be 6-7 years old, these ones right here. So killer pant, check those out. All right, moving on. So next step up right here, these are actually a brand new pair. This is a company, it's like a snowboarding company or a Western company. This is called 686. These are another type of stretch, relaxed, comfortable fit pants. They're very thin and lightweight, but these bad boys have a full-on merino liner. It's not super heavy. It's maybe like 100 gram, but these are an awesome pant too for when the weather starts to get cold, but it's not real cold yet. So these pants are great. 686. They got they also have I think a cargo edition, has some pockets on the side, but these ones don't. But I dig this old school camo too. It's kind of got like a heather camo feel. So yeah, these have been awesome. They got those in solids as well, but that's a good pant. All right, as the season's going on, I'll typically gravitate to one of these insulated type pants with the liner. And as it gets colder, I'll throw in my base layers. So right here are 2 sets of long johns that I have. So I usually, so here's 2 different examples of like long johns that I'll run under my pants. These right here are merino wool First Lites, and then these right here are a synthetic poly, and this is a Patagonia. I think it's like an R1. But both these are really awesome options for that base layer on the bottoms, and can be an awesome combination. So even early, like if I'm seeing one morning it's dipping low, I might throw, you know, a pair of these synthetics under one of the lighter lighter pant options. And then as the year goes on, and I'll be wearing my insulated, I might even double up. So I'll throw the merinos on under, you know, either the Eddie Bauers or one of these lined pants, and that'll usually get me through. To pretty cold temperatures. As soon as we start getting really cold, like sub-zero, that's when I kind of pull out the big guns. And over here, so right here, these bad boys are 100% wool, heavy-duty wool outer liner, and they have a full-on Permaloft insulation. So these things are going to be about as warm as you can get. I'll start running these in sub-zero temperatures, really late season, you know, those brutal cold sits. And then even from here, I can add my base layers under there, or even a thicker pair of sweatpants. It all really depends on how far I'm hiking at that point in time. The one downfall of these is they are heavy. You know, they're heavy, and man, if you are in a gnarly spot or a situation with a lot of briars, you could find yourself in a world of hurt, because these things are like briar magnets. But usually there's a foot or two of snow on the ground when I'm using these, and I'm trekking through more open situation and getting in and just trying to last in the stand. But these can be awesome too. If I got a longer hike, I'll just roll these up, put them on the back of the stand, and wear base layers in. But definitely if you're looking for a very, very warm pant for the end of the year to kind of close in the season, the Maine Pant is where it's at. All right, that wraps up the bottoms. Let's get into the top. All right, we're gonna dive into tops. Again, we got a bunch of stuff. These are just a lot of my favorite pieces, or an example of that layer, right? So I'm pretty basic. So I run things pretty basic, and I will typically wear the same stuff throughout the year. I'll just slowly start adding layers to the same assortment of gear, right? So I don't have really a bunch of, I don't have anything super specific for like late or early, other than, you know, just the amount of stuff I wear. So I'll kind of go through that here real quick. Let's start next to skin. So I will always run some sort of a base layer right on the skin. 9 times out of 10, this is going to be merino wool. So here is a piece. This is a kiln base layer from First Lite, and I also have one of my favorites, hands down. I've been wearing Smartwool for probably easily 10 years. Maybe, actually probably ever since I started. I had a couple old Smartwool pieces. This is probably going to be single-handedly the thing I wear the absolute most. This Smartwool base layer is worn from early October all the way to the last day of the season. So this is crucial. It's my next to skin layer. You know, these two right here. That's going to be, you know, most all the time. I do also have a synthetic. So this is an example of that. So it's a next to skin layer, little looser. This one is polyester. So there's a bunch of different companies that make things like this or like this, but I would say, you know, whether your preference is, you know, natural wool or, you know, synthetic like poly or something, just some good, comfortable base layer that you like. I don't like the feel of the poly as much when I'm really working. So one of my favorite synthetic base layers, like you see here, you can get it with a hood or not, would be the Patagonia R1. I've wore that for many years, all different colors, all different styles too. They got, you know, zipper pocket or hood, no hood, anything like that. So, so there we have our base layer. That's always going to be there. Weight is going to depend. This will be the lightest weight, the Smartwool. This kiln from First Lite's a little heavier. It's probably like a 200 gram. And then that synthetic is almost like a thin hoodie. Like it's just a little bit more robust. And you know, as the temps get really cold, as we start talking about layering even more, I'll double these. So I'll go wool on the skin, and then I'll even throw my synthetic right over that. So it's kind of like a 1-2 punch there. So getting into kind of mids, right? So I'll then run over that. If it's really early, typically I just run like a cotton cheap flannel. Like if it's got a pattern that I like, I got a bunch of flannels that I've gotten over the years. This is one of my favorites. It's got a good color pattern. And I'll run that right over, if it's really early, I'll run it right over my base layer, or I'll double up that synthetic layer with the hood, run this over that. As it gets a little colder from there, I'll throw in one of my mid layer like sweaters. So right here, this is an alpaca wool sweater. This is an awesome little unit too. It's real cozy. It's comfortable. It's not too thick. Gives you another layer of warmth there. Another wool sweater that I love. This is the Lada sweater from Fjallraven. This is an awesome piece. This will be my outer layer a lot of times too, if it's not too cold, and I'll just pop this on over some of those base layers, no problem. Maybe throw a flannel over it, maybe throw this over the flannel. It's just another piece that I love. This right here, the workhorse, baby. This is the H1. So many of you guys probably know the H1 is just a flannel that I designed from the ground up and made it a little bigger for layering purposes, and it's a heavyweight wool, and it has a windstop liner with a membrane on the inside, so it's a really good outer layer. That's kind of what it was made for. So this will be my go-to outer layer as soon as it starts getting nippy. So over my mid sweater, or over my even base layers early in the mornings for sure. I'll always pack this on my stand in the rolled up position, and I will run this as the outer layer just to seal everything in. Button it up, pop the collar. It's got that wind stop, so I really stay nice and warm in this. Or another mid layer that I wear all the time is actually this hoodie I'm wearing right now. It's just a standard cotton hoodie, but it's a heavy weight. It's like 2.5, 3 times the thickness of a regular hoodie. This is called the Heavyweight Adventure Hoodie. It's a Uomo product, and I think it's a really good combo. You know, I'll maybe throw my wool under here, this sweater, and then my H1 over it is probably 80% of mid to late October coming into early November for sure. Like that's just a killer bomber combo. As we start dipping into colder weather, this is when I start to pull out the big guns and introduce the down into the system. So down is awesome. I've been running down for as long as I can remember. It is such an awesome piece for minimal bulk and excessive warmth, right? And it's really easy to pack and stuff like that, but I'll start to layer that now the colder it gets. First thing I'll throw on is I'll throw on a down vest. So this one right here is a First Lite vest, but there's probably 70 different companies out there that make down vests or down jackets, and they are all really good. I'm a down fan versus Permaloft. I like the actual feathers. They pack lighter. I personally think they're warmer than the Permaloft. So this right here, I think it's like an 850 fill. It's really thin and minimal, but it really does a good job of trapping in some body heat. So I'll throw this on over my mid layer, like hoodie or something, under my H1. And just that extra layer will get me through another couple weeks and will really, really serve well. And like I said, I'll mix and match with the middle layers, but really I want to keep the bulk down as much as possible. So when I start to pull out the down, I might ditch the heavyweight hoodie or definitely ditch the Lada. They're just too bulky. And I'll use more of my streamline, like this alpaca wool sweater, because it's not as bulky. And then from then on, I'll run that until it starts to get real frigid, and then I'll replace this vest with actually this is my big boy. But I have another one that I don't have here. It's hoodless, and it's a full jacket, and it's about 800 fill like this. So just going from the vest to a sleeved jacket will be the next step for me. And then when that's not even keeping me warm, I'll I'll double up the vest and that jacket, and then I'll probably just ditch those two and ultimately end at something like this. Now this right here is this is a Patagonia. I've had this for a long while, and it's done me really well. This is a 600 fill, so it's got a lot more down in it, and it's bulkier. It's got a nice hood, still packs down to nothing, but I throw this on under my H1, and it's like the perfect combo for me. Pretty basic, guys. It's all about layering with me. I'll get those. It's nice too because you can always shed the layers. So this right here, for instance, this combo, you know, my heavyweight hoodie, I get that down vest on, and then I seal it all in with the H1. You're talking, you're talking that's going to get you through pretty cold weather right there. And I'll button this up. Messing up my speaker here. Not too bulky. Any more than this, I would probably ditch that hood and then go to maybe some more streamlined stuff. But yeah, it's all about layering and efficiently packing in these layers on the stand. All right, let's talk boots and socks. My sock game is pretty much all wool all the time. My hands down favorite pair of socks is going to be these Smartwool socks. They're a medium weight. They're not the hiker, they're a little heavier. I'll try and find the exact link and link those here, but these are great for any time it starts getting a little bit cold, but can also be worn, you know, in warmer. They're not too overly thick, so they're not like so they don't got your feet sweating like crazy, but Smartwool makes a couple different weights and sizes, and these are gonna be my go-to, especially early on in the season through mid-season. Another one is, this is a First Lite merino sock. It's lighter weight. It's not too thick. It's got a good, you know, thinner weight to it, but it's also, the warmth for weight ratio is really nice. So I love that sock. As it gets colder, hands down, alpaca wool socks are gonna be my favorite for cold temps. I'll run the alpaca wool almost exclusively as soon as it starts getting cold. And, you know, what I tend to do actually, my, you know, feet have been a big problem for me over the years, and they still get really cold. The best way I keep them the warmest is actually to bring a fresh pair of socks. So I might wear a light hiker sock in, and when I get to the tree, or if I get back to where I'm gonna be, if it's a long hike, I'll just swap my socks out. Sounds kind of crazy, but my feet sweat, and that saves me, especially when it's really cold. So going into boots, this is gonna be mission dependent for me too. You know, really where I'm hunting, what I'm doing. For the past 5 years or so, I've gotten to barefoot running, and I do a lot of minimalist footwear training. So I got into Vivo's quite some time ago, and they make an awesome barefoot boot. It's very, very secure, but has a super wide toe box and good tread, but it's not a brick, you know, like I'll get into with some of the other boots, especially the craze now is the mountaineering boots, and they're just very rigid, very stiff, and yeah, a lot of guys who are hunting, you know, very easy terrain are even using very stiff big boots. So I like to keep the feet natural most times, and especially early season I'll run around and I'll burn some miles up on these things if the terrain's not too unforgiving. So from there, so this would be like the most minimalist footwear, lightest, the light duty side of things, and then I would kind of graduate into like a midweight hiker. So these right here are Selewas, and this is not robust by any means, but it's not as light duty as that. So it's got a good tread base. They're flexible. It's an awesome lightweight boot to really burn and scout a lot of miles on. And you could actually get away with some technical terrain in this too. They're not the warmest. They're breathable, being that lightweight shoe. Like you could even rock this in summer. It's a really good shed hunting boot because it's lightweight. Now we'll go over and talk about more of like a technical boot for sure. So this is a Hanwag. I've been actually running these now for 3 or 4 years, I've had a couple different pair trying out the fitment and feel. They make an awesome boot, hands down. I'm a bit of a boot junkie. I'm always trying out new pair, and I've tried a lot of the different like mountaineering type boots out there. I've tried Crispy, I've tried Kenetrek, Selewas, the beefier Selewas. I've tried La Sportiva, a lot of those companies, and Hanwag I think stands at the top of all of them. I just love the fit and the feel. The actual tread of the boot is not as wide and clunky, so even with a heavier, more rigid boot, you still feel more nimble, if that makes sense. This is like one of their middle of the road boots, and this is my new pair. I haven't even really broken these in yet, but this is like one of their Macras or something. The Alverstone is another sick boot that will last for years, and it's super durable. It's actually even a little lighter than this, but they're really good for waterproofing. Their structure is not so rigid as like a brick, but it's definitely got the capability to get up some steep terrain, and you definitely feel capable there. So Hanwag's awesome. They got such a huge selection there, so I definitely recommend checking some out. But I'll run these more hilly, bluffy terrain, anything more technical or that I feel like I need some more support, I'll be running these hands down. And I'll try and roll these out till as late as I can. You know, I have these a bit oversized so I can run a bigger sock. I'm looking forward to trying some sock liners this year. That might be the ticket for not having to swap out to a fresh pair. And one thing I do not have here, I will show them in a later video, but I do have a pair of Mukluks. They're Steger Mukluks that I use when it gets really, really cold. Those are built for sub-zero. Your foot is going to be very, very warm. Now they are bigger, they're clunkier, they're more robust. They're not really like a technical climbing boot. So if you're somebody who's in, you know, maybe the hills or the mountains, like it definitely wouldn't be the choice for you. All right, let's kick it off with gloves. So I typically run no gloves as long as I can. When I got into traditional archery, I was way more comfortable without the gloves, so I try and stow them away and keep them in the pack for as long as possible. Once it starts getting cold, I will implement a very small, thin, fingerless glove. This right here is an Alpaca glove, so way different than like even a thin merino. Lot warmer, lot softer. It's still low profile. Love these little things. So this right here will be like that first go-to glove that I wear. A little cozy, keeping the hand warm. And then as it gets, now it'll be getting real cold. Up until the bitter end, I just then transfer over and pull out like the big mitten. So, man, since I was 13, 12, 13, bow hunting, I have always been a mitten guy. The mitten, the pop top is crucial for me, man. They're the warmest gloves I've found. I keep warm in very frigid temperatures with these things, and you know, you can just pop that top. You can draw. They clear release real good. A lot of people don't like these because they're bulky, but I love them. And I'll get the habit of practicing with this when I start putting them on. But I go from the little lightweight ones to the big mitten, and that's my glove game. That's pretty much it. Hats, very simple. This is a Uomo beanie, hunt beanie. I just love the color and love the thickness of this, so I'll just run a typical beanie, or I will actually take one of my neck buffs and I'll run this. I'll just fold it over and kind of run it like a headband, let my hair pop out of the top. But yeah, just a typical beanie, and then I'll always rock my hood too. When it start getting colder, I'll just put that hood up, and that seals a lot of that heat in. So as you can see here, we got 3 different buffs. I love those, neck gaiters, whatever you want to call them. So I'll start out, this is good for just, you know, when you're sweating or whatnot. This is a lightweight, this one's actually a Buff brand neck gaiter. This one's synthetic, I believe it's poly or something. But I'll run that on, cover up the neck. Good for sweating, good for early season. You can double it as a headband, use it as a hat, whatever. As soon as it starts getting a little colder, big thing for me, a lot of heat escapes through my neck, and I got neck issues, so I'll get real contorted up if I'm cold, and I'll start shrugging. So I like to run a neck gaiter at all times mostly. This right here is going to be the second layer. So as it starts getting a little colder, I'll run this one. This one's merino wool, a little heavier weight. It's got some good warmth. This thing keeps in so much warmth, guys, on your neck. From nothing to this, it doesn't even seem like that much weight. It's just something there and not letting that escape. So I'll run this then until it starts to get, you know, colder, and then I'll pull out my, this one's actually a Smartwool right here. It's probably 4 times as thick as this. It's a little bit smaller, but then this will be like the end goal for the gaiter. Sometimes I'll even just fold this over and double it up and just really get that neck nice and warm. Or like I said, I can, you know, I might even run this like a hat sometimes, or just a headband and run it over like that. But yeah, neck gaiters are crucial to me. Love them. All right, guys, there you have it. Those are all my favorite pieces of gear. I hope you guys got some good information out of this video. Let me know if you liked it. Leave it in the comments below. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for taking the time to stop by the page and watch the video. If you like this content, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, hit the bell. That'll give you notifications for when I do new videos. So until next time, shoot straight.